and we're off. College football season has kicked off, and guys, guess what? We got a lot of stuff that's going to pop off in this episode that I got to give to y'all because, we got to get into some of these things that took place, because some people ain't going to like what I got to say, but I got to say what I got to say anyway because social media has everybody like up in arms as far as everything that has taken place thus far as with their teams, things that they like, things that they didn't like, and they don't quite understand exactly how this thing is going to turn out for their football program this season. Hey, listen, if you hear a little squeaking going on in the background, that's my dog Knox. He is enjoying his daggone squeaky toy. We kept that thing away from him long enough, and he ain't trying to hear it no more. So he letting everybody know he got this damn toy, and he gonna squeak the heck out this bad boy because he wants you to come play with him. And I ain't trying to play right now. Kind of like what I'm gonna be like with some of these daggone teams in some of these games that I sat here and watched this past weekend that don't make much sense to me. But you know what? Now that I got that out the way, we're going to go ahead and tap on in this thing because I know you're like, Coach, come on and give it to me. What's your thoughts on some of these things, on some of these games that took place this weekend? And I'm going to tell you right now, y'all ain't going to like me. Y'all ain't going to like me. I'm just going to be real. I'm going to keep it 100 with you. Y'all ain't going to like me. But guys, you know what? Before I get into all of that, let's get into this. Welcome back. It's your favorite coach back at it again. 10 toes down, about to tell you how it all went down. This is Tomorrow Leader Sports Network with your host, Coach Walker. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can get all upcoming videos. For all my leaders out there, welcome back. Y'all know the drill. Y'all know the routine. If you haven't done so already, please like, comment, and share these videos. And tap in a friend or two and tell them to come on in. It's nothing but positive vibes. We're just having a good time talking about HBCU sports. And don't forget, you can follow us on all social media platforms. The links are listed down below in the description. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump on in this thing because I'm like, Coach, come on, we've been waiting on you to give us this show. Well, guess what, daggone it, here you go. Because I know a lot of y'all right now is sitting around enjoying family time with your loved ones, with your family members and all of that good stuff. And I just want to give y'all a little something that y'all can sit back, sink your teeth into while y'all chewing on them ribs or chewing on that barbecue chicken or chewing on them hamburgers, hot dog sausages, whatever it is that y'all got on the grill this daggone afternoon. Because I know y'all like, Coach, come on, man. We've been waiting on this. You playing games with us. What's going on? Well, I got to tell you. There's a lot of stuff popping off this weekend leading up to, it was a lot of stuff popping off leading up to the start of the football season. And guess what? We're here. We are here. And I mean, everybody's had an opportunity to get themselves together as far as with, making sure you got the right plays in order as far as you getting out there on the field, competing against teams, making sure that you had everything in place so that your team was, focused and did the things necessary for them to possibly win a game. Well, you know what? It's some of y'all out here that did not live up to the billing. I'm just going to be real with you right now. No, sir, you didn't live up to the billing. You guys had me so in my feelings, to say the least. I'm going to leave it at that. You had me in my feelings with a lot of this stuff because there's nowhere in the world you did all that practicing during the springtime, the summer camp, all of that good stuff for you to come out here and look the way that you look in these games this past weekend. Are you kidding me? You had week 0 off. You should have been getting the last things together to figure out what was going on. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and jump into the first game. Clark Atlanta versus Valdosta State. Clark Atlanta University, they was in this game. Listen. Valdosta State, I got to give them props. They lost, I think, like 47 players from their program last year. They had, 17? They hit the transfer portal after Coach Tremaine Jackson decided he was going to leave and go to Prairie View A&M University. And then you had another 30, I believe. They graduated from the program last season. So got to give them shots out for what they've been able to do as far as getting out there thus far in week 1, in which they did beat Clark Atlanta in this game on a last-minute field goal, 31-28. But we got to talk about a couple of things here. Excuse me. Former Jack State quarterback Zy McDonald got out there with the team. He put in some work in this game. This young man, he definitely had them ahead in the game. I believe Clark Atlanta had a 7-point lead twice in the third quarter in this game, in which it came down to execution and penalties that kind of cost them in this game. It was a close game throughout. Got to give them their props as far as with everything with this. But Valdosta State was able to kick a field goal, which they won the game 31-28. This game, Zy McDonald threw the ball 30 times, completing 14 for 234 yards, 2 touchdowns. Also, you had Allen Riggins. He rushed the ball 14 times for 59 yards. You had Zion McDonald. He also scored a rush touchdown in the game as well. He had 7 rushes for 56 yards. And you had Jalen Samuels, who also rushed the ball 6 times for 4 yards, and he had a rushing touchdown as well. Clark Atlanta came up short in this game. Got to give Coach Keaton and his coaching staff props. They were in this thing, but they still got to figure out what, those little key things that they need to, get together, those nuances that they need to put together so they can go ahead and get the win next week against Florida Memorial University, who they play here in Atlanta, Georgia on next Saturday at 3 p.m. That is their opening home football game. So if you haven't gotten your tickets for that, make sure you get your tails out there, kick in and get those tickets, and make sure you're in that stadium out there rooting for the Panthers to do what they need to do in this football game against Florida Memorial. But next game we got to get into is none other than Norfolk State versus Towson University. Now, I got to be honest with you. The reports is out there that Coach Vic was a little nervous as far as the game itself. Yeah, you're going to be a bit nervous as far as this is your first head coach position, as well as your first position being a head football coach over a program. You had to get the jitters out, kind of like the first time when you got out there on the field and you were leading your team. You were the starting quarterback on the team. I understand where Coach Vic is coming from, but I got to give them props. They were able to, in that game, it was a hard-fought game. I'm going to give them that. Yes, they lost the game 27-7, but let's keep things in perspective here. After, if I'm not mistaken, Israel Carter got injured in the game early on, in which they ended up bringing Otto Coons into the game, in which he was able to throw the ball 27 times, complete 19 for 219 yards. Now, one thing I will give the Norfolk State University football team credit for is that they held Towson University. They had pretty much shut them out in the second half. They had a little breakdown, I believe, late in the fourth quarter, in which they were able to go ahead and score points. They put up 14 points because the offense got a little stagnant out there on the field. They had opportunities to score points in which they were not able to do that. They came up a little short. But again, who is that? Jalen Laudermilk for Norfolk State University. He was able to rush the ball in for a rushing touchdown. Kevon King had 11 rushes for 30 yards, averaging 2.7 yards per carry. That's something that one thing I will say as far as with Norfolk State University, they're going to have to figure out what works for their quarterbacks. I think some of the playmaking that they're trying to do as far as the read option or however they was trying to go about this thing, they're going to have to figure out what's best for their quarterback. What is he good at doing as far as with running the offense? Basically, I would say more so for them, it probably might fit better for them to possibly go with a spread. I could be wrong. I think they might have did a little bit of spread offense in that game, which allowed them to move the ball down the field in the manner in which they were able to. But again, the penalties was costly in the game that ended up stalling out drives, as well as if they made big plays for them to score touchdowns, those touchdowns got wiped off the board, and they ended up having, to try to find a way to continue to keep driving the ball down the field. It just didn't happen. It happened that way. Towson University walked away with the win, 27-7 in this game. Like I said before, they definitely had a fight. They had a fighting chance to get back in the game, but the turnovers and the offensive lack of moving the ball down the field was just something that was very crucial in the game. Coach Jackson with Delaware State, when they played Delaware, I got to give them props as well because Delaware State was definitely doing some damage out there on that field. I mean, Coach Jackson was showing some moxie out there as far as with what he was expecting from his team, and the team was amped up as far as with trying to do what they need to do to possibly get them, keep themselves in contention to possibly win the game. They had on their opening drive, they went down the field. They had actually scored a touchdown that got called back due to a penalty. I believe it was a holding call that they brought that touchdown back. They ended up kicking a field goal in the end. But Caden Bennett, he had a rough outing. He threw the ball 23 times, completing 11 for 135 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. But Marquise Gillis for Delaware State, he rushed the ball 17 times for 123 yards. That young man was getting some rough yards out there on the field, but I love the fact that he kept his legs moving in this game to get them, get the offense moving. Again, this was another one of those times where we saw penalty stall drives, and it cost them points in the game. So once we get the once a lot of these teams get a little bit more discipline underneath them, understand that the things that they're doing out there on the field is costing them in games, I think they'll be all right. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna be truly honest with you guys. Delaware State, they're gonna run that ball down your throat. You better believe that they have the athletes out there to get that done. But what's that? This next game, oh my God. Where do I start with this? Alcorn State University versus Northwestern State University. Listen, I'm trying to figure out, where is the tenacity? Where is the grit? Where is the hard-working backs? Where is the lineman firing off the ball? I mean, this Alcorn State football that I saw play this weekend, I'm trying to wrap my mind around this thing here, because you got passes being thrown to athletes. You got passes being thrown to receivers out there on the field, in which they just, slapping the ball. I'm like, we got Butterfingers going on out here. I'm like, what are we doing, guys? Are you guys not mentally prepared as far as what is being expected of you out there on the field? You're wearing Alcorn State across your chest. What we've seen in the past as far as with these athletes getting out here and competing, that's just not going to cut it. I mean, the penalty calls, man. I mean, guys, listen. Let's be real here. Let's be real for a second here. There's nowhere in the world, no way, the offense could not drive the ball down the field but for 3 points. I mean, the Braves special teams, you snapping the ball over the punter's head, and the ball is picked up on the 8-yard line, and they go ahead and take the ball in the end zone, in which they were up like 13-0 in the first quarter. I mean, y'all playing a team that was on a 20-game losing streak. I mean, that was the longest active losing streak in FCS in the season opener. I'm like, what are we doing, guys? What going into the season opener, these folks hadn't won a game in 2-3 years? And y'all come out there and y'all just fart on the ball like it like, okay, whatever. I mean, listen. Somebody's seat need to be hot on this one. There's nowhere in the world you're going to this game. You lose this game against a bunch of damn freshmen. A bunch of freshmen. This is a young team that you lost against. And I'm sure Alcorn State had a bunch of players that came in off their transfer portal that played somewhere else or had some type of playing time somewhere else. And this is what this looks like. I mean, I give you credit where you had, Alcorn State University scores on a 72-yard pick six by Orlandis McLaurin. That's the only points. That's the only points outside of Grandin Wilcox kicking a field goal, making the score 13-10. To close the game. Close the game in 13-10 in the third quarter. I mean, guys, what are we doing? I'm really trying to wrap my mind around what's happening here. Jalen Tolbert for the game, he threw 44 passes for 19 yards, for 182 yards, and two interceptions. When have we ever seen the Braves throw the ball around the field for 44 times? I don't think that happened when Triggerman was there. And that's a couple of years ago. We've never seen a Braves quarterback throw the ball 44 times unless it was Aaron McNair or Air 2 McNair. We've never seen that before. So I'm trying to understand what in the world is going on right now with this offense. And the defense didn't look that much better. Guys, I'm sorry if you feel some kind of way as far as what I'm saying to you. I expect a lot more from you out there on the field than what you gave this past weekend. If you are if you are cool with your effort, hey, man, this is going to be a long season for Alcorn State University. and trust to believe somebody behind gonna be heating up on that daggone on that trail as far as folks looking at, okay, we need to change some things up over here at Alcorn State University. But the one thing I do recommend is if that is the case, please make sure y'all have somebody in mind of who you're looking to bring into that program that's gonna get that program back to where it needs to be. Because this right here, this is unacceptable. This is unacceptable. Man, let me leave this alone. Oh, my God. Oh my God. And now wait. Before I get off of that, wait. And not only that, but let's talk about the penalties. I mean, guys, Alcorn State University had 15 penalties for 123 yards. It was 23 penalties combined, and if I'm not mistaken, they had mentioned during the game that it was over 40 penalties that went down, but a lot of those penalties was waived off due to people declining the penalty because it made no sense in pushing them back. There's no way in the world this type of crap should happen like this. 15 penalties for 123 yards? Guys, guess what? Not only that, but when you got your quarterback throwing the ball 40-something times and only 19 is completed, guess what we're doing this week? Everybody needs to line up in the daggone receiving line. That's lineman included. Run the freaking route because somebody out here is going to catch the damn ball when it's thrown to them. This is unacceptable, guys. I mean, honestly, truly, this is truly unacceptable. I've never seen nothing like this before. I'm like, not from Alcorn State University. I'm sorry. It's just not like that. I'm sorry. I mean, hey, if somebody feels some kind of way, I understand, I respect it. But at the end of the day, I'm just like, where's the dignity as far as what representing the name that's on the front of that jersey? This is crazy. I've never seen nothing like this before. But let's move on to the next. Let's move on to the next one because this one here, oh my God. Florida A&M versus Howard University. I guess the real HU finally showed up this weekend because everybody thought it was going to be Hampton University, and it just didn't happen that way. Oh, yeah. Hampton University went to to the Jack and got lit. Yeah, the game was close, and I got to give Jack State some props. Yeah, they left some points on the board, and I'm sure they'll figure that out. But you know what? They were a little vanilla as far as with the offense that they ran as well. So don't get it twisted as far as what all took place. But I'm going to leave. I'm going to move off from that. I'm going to get back to this Florida A&M versus Howard University, and I'm going to be honest with you. Florida A&M, Coach Scott tried to gift wrap that game and give it to you guys, but you just couldn't do nothing with it. The offense couldn't move. The defense looked like it was a little lethargic. I don't know what's going on out there with the team. It's almost like everybody's trying to figure it out. That defense that we've been accustomed to. FAMU Rattlers dark cloud defense, where was it at this weekend? Because, I mean, I'm going to be real with you guys. It was not out there on the field. Not in the Orange Blossom Classic. No, sir. No, it was not. Right now, it looks like FAMU trying to figure out what's going on. And I'm going to be real with you. Them Rattler fans, they're not going to stand pat dealing with that. They're not. They're going to be looking for some rhyme or reason to make sure things move in the direction in which they need to move. And right now, it doesn't look like it's moving that way. There's no way in the world that offense looked that daggone lethargic as far as what was going on. I'm just trying, like I said before, I'm trying to understand what's going on with all of this because that dark cloud defense, that dark cloud defense is supposed to be stellar, and it was not stellar at all. It was straight poo-poo. It was poo-poo. I'm being honest with you. It was freaking poo-poo. Yeah, you had a couple of athletes out there that did show up and show out. I believe it was a number 18. He got out there. He made a couple of sacks in the game. But outside of that, I'm like, guys are getting pushed around out there on the field as far as, allowing Howard University to do what they need to do. Now, I know some of y'all are going to say, well, Coach, they ain't really do all that much because they ain't put many points on the board. But let me break something down to you. That didn't happen because you had the head coach over there trying to guess what he was going to do. There's nowhere in the world. Once again, you're moving the ball down the field. You're moving the ball down the field against a team to average 1.7 yards per carry rushing the ball. They average 8.5 per pass completion attempt. But when I look at you guys on the other side, you average 10.8 yards per pass completion attempt, but only average 2.8 yards per carry. What are we doing here, guys? I mean, at some point in time, we got to understand what's going on. Penalties wasn't really a big thing in this game, but it's just the matter of fact where when Howard University was able to collect themselves as far as what worked best for their quarterback, tempo works for that quarterback as far as allowing him to get out there and make the decisions on the field for what he needs to do to move that team, move that offense up and down the field. That's what works for them. Not all of this, everybody, spot throw here, do this, that. I'm like, you got athletes on the field, allow them to play, allow them to make plays. That was something that they were not able to do. I mean, hell, sitting here looking at everything that was going on, I didn't understand for as far as with uh, um, Howard University did the same thing, was it a couple years ago in the MEAC SWAC Challenge. Your running game was moving and then you stopped running the daggone ball. I mean, you get Eaton James. Listen, I don't understand why Eaton James is not getting the ball more. He got 5 carries in the game for 9 yards. 9 yards. I'm like, that is one of your better athletes. I'm like, spread him out wide. Put him in the slot. Do something with him that's going to allow him to get the ball in his hands to help this team move the freaking offense down the field. I mean, I'm just not understanding some of this stuff here. I get some folks want to be vanilla as far as what they're trying to do with their offense because they don't want everybody to see exactly what's going on. But at some point in time, you got to understand this. When you line this thing up on the field when it's 11 on 11, you got to let that other team know, hey, listen, either you're going to get out here and stop me or I'm going to run this damn thing down your throat until you get tired of me doing it and you stop it. And there's no reason why this is not happening. It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense whatsoever. I'm like, hell, even for FAMU, Levante Somerset, this kid was averaging 4.1 yards per carry. Why didn't he get more carries? I don't understand it. I'm like, guys are sitting here trying to figure it out. I'm like, listen, what are we doing? You cannot put this loss on R.J. Johnson III. Yes, this is his first start, but I mean, give the young man his props. The young man did throw the ball. Was it 32 times, completed 17 for 183 yards, and he was sacked 3 times. There's a lot of times where there was not any blocking up front. Guys, at the end of the day, everybody got to understand, either you're going to go ahead, bow back and get to it, or you're going to get drugged, and guess what? You're going to catch that L. Sad to say, FAMU, they ended up getting hit with a walk-off field goal, losing this game. And I'm like, wow, deja vu all over again, because this is the same thing that happened to Coach Willie Simmons when he was there, when him and when FAMU and Jack State played in the Orange Blossom Classic the first year, they started this back up again. And here, once again, the same thing happens all over again. Deja vu all over again. Crazy work. But listen, we're going to go ahead, we're going to move on to this last game. And I got to talk about this kid because, boy, this kid deserves some praise as far as what was able to be done. And first and foremost, I want to give a shout out to none other than Mr. Craig Hall. Please do me a huge favor and give that man a moment of silence. Funny thing is, when it comes to just people in general, all of us, we sit down, we talk to one another about certain things. I mean, we do have, a lot of people do have a lot of the content creators' phone numbers where they reach out to them, talk to them about certain things, ask questions about what their thoughts are as far as teams and things of that nature. Just have, basic conversation here and there. And I do enjoy having those conversations with people outside of everything that's going on. And I just want to give a huge shout out to Mr. Craig Hall because I actually spoke to that man Tuesday when I heard about him moving on away from us and going upstairs to the man being called home. And, going upstairs to the man above, and he was called home. And I'm just like, man, I want to give him a huge shout out because when everyone else thought Andrew Body could not get out there on that field and do what he did against UAB, even though they didn't win the game, he believed. He kept talking. Outside of the parents, he was the one that just kept talking. He would let everybody know, hey, listen, y'all don't understand what's going on. This kid can ball. And I mean, Andrew Body went out there and had a freaking unconscious moment that I'm just like, wow. If this young man come out there and play like this week in and week out, it's going to be some teams that's going to be running for the hills trying to figure out how in the world do they stop this young man. Andrew Body went unconscious on UAB. And listening to the head football coach over there, Trent Dilfer, give him his props after this game. I mean, what more can you say? I mean, this young man threw the ball 24 times, completing 18 for 312 yards, 4 touchdowns, and he wasn't done there. This young man actually rushed the ball 16 times and had 119 yards rushing the ball and 1 touchdown. Crazy thing is he had a 60-plus yard scamper that was called back. So just imagine, if you put that 60 on top of the 119, this young man had close to 200 yards rushing as well as 300 yards passing with 2 touchdowns rushing. So I'm just sitting here like, man, this kid got off. He got off. And like I said before, I just want to give this young man his flowers because, you know what, even in the losing effort, they got there and bust their ass and got to work. But you know what, Alabama State, y'all got some work to do over there. There's a lot of glaring things that need to be rectified as far as if you guys are looking to make a run this upcoming season. Because guess what? He can't put all of it on his back. He can't. Even though he's the leader of the team, not every week this going to happen. Not every week, 16 times. Yeah, he's definitely the SWAC player of the week. Got to give him that because he showed up and showed the frick out for real. So I just want to give Andrew Body his props as far as what he's able to do out there on the field. Salute to you, King, and look forward to seeing you do some phenomenal things next week. But like I said before, I know Mr. Craig Hall and Mr. Craig, I know he's looking down, smiling on you right now, son. So make sure you get out there and go ahead and get after and play for him, play for yourself, play for your team, and let everybody know, hey, listen, let's get this thing together so we can go ahead and push this cart together a little bit more evenly to where we all can shine and do what we need to do. But again, they ended up losing this game by 10. It was a shootout. Honestly, truly, there wasn't really much defense on either end. I think the score, like, was it 42 to 52? Them guys put up 94 points between the two of them. So you already know what time it was with that. But again, salute to Andrew Body and his Herculean effort that he was able to do in that game this past weekend. Salute to you. But guys, Coach will go ahead and get up on out this thing. But until next time, be the one and lead.